Welcome to episode 19 of Newysports TV. I'm Ty Stedman, 11:15 at night on a Sunday. Didn't do any videos last night, Saturday night, so here I am forced to record a lot tonight and actually try and remember what happened yesterday at Singleton. So let's go straight into that. Under 17 Singleton Strikers 5 defeating Cessnock City 0-2. Not nil. Didn't take long for the Strikers to take an early lead in the under 17s. Trey Pradlock getting a goal in the 4th minute. Pardon me, getting a goal. Let's just stick with that. Getting his 4th goal this season. I don't know if it was in the 4th minute. It doesn't really matter. It was early in the game. A penalty 14 minutes later to James Croucher gave Singleton the chance to make it 2-0, and they did. 2-0 from the spot, and I was still in the process of setting up the PA system. Have to run a very long extension leads at Howe Park, so I was actually behind the goal when this one was scored. So it was good, because if it missed, it might have hit me. First world problems, right? Moments later, Trey Pradlock at it again, scoring his 2nd of the game. He's very good form he is. Can't be stopped at the moment. Cessnock hit back, Will Forbes adding to his tally of goals from last week, slotting it past Brad Fairclough and giving Cessnock a chance. Hamish Maylard with a chance for Singleton. Cessnock had 1 or 2 looks at goal, but not much going into the half-time break. In the second half, Luke Fishpool scored for Singleton, a very decent finish, and then Jacob Geddes with a decent finish as well. Brendan Gear getting a very late goal for Cessnock. An entertaining and physical game. It is up on the Newysports YouTube channel for those who want to enjoy that game again. I'm sure Singleton might, Cessnock might not want to. Who knows? Singleton move off the bottom of the table. Just their 2nd win from 11 starts this season. Man of the match. Newysports man of the match is Trey Pradlock there from Singleton. In the under 19, Singleton Strikers 2 drawing Cessnock City 2. No guessing who got the first goal here. Nathan Hall, of course, got both goals for Singleton actually. In the 8th minute of the game, Nathan Hall putting them into the lead, but Cessnock, they had Reese Rocky deployed up front, which normally, I've noticed he's normally a fullback, that's what I remember, but he's up front now, and he did pretty good. Singleton lacking in midfield, I'd say. Too many players are streaming forward. Tom Golding will have the ball, and there'll be 4 people on the edge of the box, so one of them's got to drop back and provide a safer option, I think. Golding himself and Tyler Felch working very hard in midfield. Some of the attackers may be letting down a little bit, just not playing as well as they could be. Jeremy Noon forced off with injury for Cessnock. Singleton came close to leading. Jaden Bartlett put the ball into the net, but it was ruled offside. Cessnock were also ruled offside. James Collins scoring a header, which very decent worked set piece. Not very often you see James Collins score a goal. It would have been very good, but it was offside. It was very close. I was in a horrible position to tell, so I'm not going to say that 50-50 call. Cessnock, they were lacking a little bit in midfield, and a turnover from Chad Peterson, the substitute, gave Singleton the ball, and Nathan Hall eventually got a one-on-one chance against Brendan Zeckel and made no mistake, becoming the leading goal scorer in the entire New FM competition, and indeed keeping that after today, because Sam Jones didn't score a goal. Josh Knight will probably be close by, but I'm not sure. I haven't done the goal scoring charts just yet. Been a very busy night, been a very crazy night. With defeat looking likely, the Hornets came away with a well-earned draw. Will Forbes was backing up again from the 17s, started for the 19s, provided the goods, scoring the equaliser with the final kick of the game. Will Forbes finding the net a lot lately in 17s, 19s and He'll pop up later on as well. Neither side deserved to lose. Neither side deserved to win. I don't think Singleton deserved to win this, and I don't think Cessnock deserved to lose. And I thought they were going to, so I was quite happy to see Cessnock score because I thought they deserved at least a point out of that game. They were arguably the better side on the day. Goalkeeper Tory Beveridge, man of the match, in my opinion. Under 23s, Singleton Strikers 1, defeating Cessnock City 0. Ryan Geho, 200 games for the Singleton Strikers, and a brilliant guard of honour as he came onto the field. The whole side, the whole New FM side, giving him a guard of honour as he entered the field for his 200th game, and you can't beat that, in my opinion. I'm not sure there's too many clubs out there that do that, you know. There'd obviously be celebrations, but to form an actual guard of honour and to go through all that, and it was very, very classy from Singleton. Cessnock, they're fighting an uphill battle from the get-go. Fill-ins galore. Connor Doyle, Liam Anderson and Luke Ford, all under-19s players that started. Ty Rolls and James Collins came off the bench. And then Will Forbes began his third straight game. Started 17, started 19, started 23s. Didn't even look tired at this point. Some decent in-swinging corners from Brody Egan. Despite his size, he can actually kick the ball fairly long. Not gonna lie. Couldn't get a goal though, but decent corners. Sam Garrity was doing some damage for Cessnock 2 down the wing, just very difficult player to deal with at times. Yeah, he came close to scoring, probably the closest of the half, nearly dipped in. A scrappy game, a very scrappy game, a hard game to watch, I'm not going to lie. Rob Field had a one-on-one chance, Brendan Zeckel getting the slightest of touches. Apologies early, that just reminded me that earlier on it was Tory Beveridge, the goalkeeper for Cessnock in the 19s. So that bit about someone did something with the goalkeeper, it was Tory Beveridge, not Zeckel. He played 23s, and he may find it very difficult to get back into 19s because Tory Beveridge is in some good form. So yes, Zeckel getting the slightest of touches to send it wide off of Rob Field. A diving header from James Bates gave Singleton a chance, it went over the bar. Crucial moment of the game, Jai Thompson, Cessnock's arguably their best player in the 23s this year, sent off. Live, I was just stunned, and I'm saying that is a horrendous call. I thought the foul should have gone to Singleton, but the game was filmed, and in very, very slow motion. I watched it several times, and I think I agree with the call. It's debatable anyway. Opening goal of the game came from Lucas Gentle, heading home Singleton's only goal of the game. The only goal of the game from either side. Chase Hamilton should have doubled the lead, but he couldn't. And Brendan Zeckel, busy player, pulling off some decent saves. Cessnock City losing 1-0. James Bates, man of the match. Didn't really know who to go for, just, I don't know, flip a coin there. Big win for Singleton there in the 23s, keeping their form going. In first grade, Singleton Strikers 6, defeating Cessnock City 1. Their score will pop up a lot in first grade this weekend. Dan Palazzi scoring a delightful free kick early on. Sam Ford scoring in the 9th minute. 2-0 down inside 10 minutes. That's game over in my opinion. Cessnock just weren't offering enough. It was looking one-sided from the start. Nick Hugo had a chance, he couldn't score. Kieran Burrell showing class again for Singleton, their import fullback, getting physical when need be. Third goal of the game came from Claudin Akmatai. Getting used to saying that name. The pronunciation was bad last week, not going to lie. Ball snuck over the line to make it 3-0 just inside the second half. Jackson Cox had a shot that was saved well from Shannon Atwell. Claudin Akmatai getting another goal to make it 4-0. The name's just rolling off the tongue now, isn't it? 13 minutes later, Kieran Burrell got on the score sheet, and moments after that, Akmatai had his hat trick. 3 goals to add to 1 or 2 last week. I think it was 1 last week. In some good form, Claudin, the Albanian. Cessnock City subbed on, here we go. Under 17s, 19s and 23s striker Will Forbes started all those games and then came on for the last 10 minutes of first grade. That's crazy. Played every single game and played well all day, and I was hoping to see him get a maiden first grade goal. That would have been delightful. The goal would come from Nick Hugo, a decent free kick. Singleton's keeper Stewie very angry not to keep a clean sheet, and you know, well be, because it was a stupid foul that they gave away. I thought it probably could have been Singleton's foul. Guy gets pushed over, then he gets up and retaliates by giving away the foul. Ball goes in 6-1. Kills the goalkeeper, you know. Clean sheet would have been lovely for Stewie, but he doesn't get it. 6-1, the victory for the Strikers, a big win. Cessnock obviously not going to trouble too many teams for the rest of this season. They're just not really up to it most weeks. They had a few players out, but it was completely one-sided yesterday. Akmatai, the standout man of the match. Jackson Cox and Dan Palozzi also good. And Jackson Skinner, I thought, impressed again. Been quality since moving to centre-back and taking the responsibility left in, you know, a big hole left by a player leaving in pre-season. A good day at the office for David Willoughby's side. The NPL yesterday, Lambton Jaffers versus Adamstown Rosebud. Actually, we'll go through that. We'll go through that later on. Or will we? No, we'll go through that now. Screw it. Lambton Jaffers versus Adamstown Rosebud. Under 19s, Lambton 3-2. Adamstown getting the win in the 22s 1-0. And in first grade, Lambton Jaffers 5 defeating Adamstown Rosebud 0. Adamstown, it's just not good enough this season. I don't even know if they have a goalkeeper yet. They had several goalkeepers get injured, sent off. It's all fallen apart for Adamstown, and they get just flogged really by a Jaffers team that haven't really been that good so far this season. Adamstown, I think, fortunate that there's no relegation looking at that sort of form. Jets Youth versus Hamilton Olympic, a 1-1 draw in the under-19s. The under-16 emerging Jets team, very good team that, against Olympic there. Probably would have been a good game to watch that one. 22s Olympic getting a 3-1 win over the under-18 emerging Jets. And in first grade, Hamilton Olympic 5 defeating the Jets Youth 0. Jets Youth, it's easy beats at the moment. And for that system, you know, I'm a really outspoken criticiser of the Jets Youth system. I still think they're playing 4-3-3 every single week. It's pretty predictable. It's easy to counter. You know, teams know what to expect from them. Inexperience, of course. And, you know, they've got to offer more than 5-0, I think. That's a bit disappointing there. Under 17 results, Adamstown 4 defeating Charlestown 0 and Western 2 over the Jaffers 1. That is Saturday, so we move on to Sunday now. Kahibah FC versus Cooks Hill United, the feature match of the day. Under 17s, Kahibah FC 1, defeated by Cooks Hill United 6. Cooks Hill, they got there, they knew how important this game was. 5th versus 4th, they needed a win. Cameron Wormsley scoring a goal in just the second minute. Kahibah hit back, Kyle Williams with a decent in-ball that was placed into the net by Cooks Hill's Michael Dalton, the captain, scoring an own goal. Fergus Allen playing well for Cooks Hill. I thought Cameron Wormsley scoring another goal, played well today as well. A similar finish to the first goal, across the goal into the far corner of the net. Eli Collins could have made it 3-1, but it was saved by Zach Ireland. Cooks Hill's keeper Eamon Doyle also required to be on point a few times. Eli Collins burying a chance to make it 3-1 just before half-time. Second half, all Cooks Hill. Kahibah's backup keeper Blake Gates came on and was strangely yellow carded for entering the field too early, or some some garbage like that. A warning probably could have sufficed there. You know, it's a bit stupid carding someone as they're subbing onto the field. You know, I get it, the rules are there to be followed, but you know, what did the touch judge not tell him to, hey, wait here? Or I haven't seen the footage. The game was filmed. I didn't really see that moment either, so I don't know. I just think that's a little bit silly. The keeping change did make a difference nonetheless. Damon White with a decent header to make it 4-1 for Cooks Hill. Brad Messingham coming close to scoring for Kahibah. They've got something going at Kahibah, trying to score goals off of crosses. It's becoming sort of an in thing for them. You know, they like their crosses, Kahibah, in all the grades. Casey Jackson, I thought, was probably their best player on a day that they were just severely outplayed in the second half and the game got away from them. Damon White scored a second, and then Michael Dalton scoring a decent free kick at the end. I thought Blake Gates probably could have done better in goals there, sort of spilling it. It doesn't really make a difference. 5-1, 6-1. 6-1 is the score. Cooks Hill go into the top 4, and I tell you what, they've got like a plus 20 goal difference. This team can score goals if they get consistency together. You know, getting to the finals and anything's possible. They were really on their game at Lake Macquarie a few weeks ago. Lakes, of course, well, you'll find out what happened to Lakes soon, but the 17s comp a bit even than what it did seem about a month ago. Under 19s, Kahibah FC 1, defeated by Cooks Hill United 2. I'll go through the game and then we'll talk about the ending of the game. An unfortunate ending. Two talent-filled sides, you know. That Kahibah team, they're very good players, what can I say? I can barely put words together how good they are. Jackson Gosling opened the scoring for Cooks Hill on the 16th minute. Luke Jones would find an equaliser, some sloppiness at the back from Cooks Hill, very, very sloppy. Luke Jones is credit to Kahibah for they all shaved their heads today in support of a teammate who's gone through some health issues as of late. Luke Jones obviously didn't get the memo. He's sort of gone with a mullet / bald head. It just looks so bad. And it's not one of those situations where it's so bad that it's good. It's just so bad that it's bad. He scored though, so you can't complain with that. Ty Cousins fired Cooks Hill back in the lead in the 25th minute. Quality finish. Ty Cousins is a really quiet achiever at Cooks Hill. Doesn't, you know, just does the job, and you can't go wrong with that in my mind. Kahibah's Matty Hughes had one or two moments in front of goals to sort of have a chance at scoring, and then the game turned pretty serious actually. Matty Hughes colliding with Emerson Gosling, the Cooks Hill goalkeeper, and yeah, Matty looked like he had a serious, very, very serious knee injury. At first, he's in a lot of pain and just a really worrying moment. Fortunately, he was walking by, well, he wasn't walking, he had a big leg brace thing on, but dislocated kneecap. He should be good to go in a week or two. That was a report, which is amazing. You know, at first, you know, you're thinking ACL, you're thinking a year or so. Very glad about that, because Matty Hughes, brilliant player to watch. The result, the lengthy wait for an ambulance caused the game to be abandoned. But last word I had, a bit of inside word, the referees were going to look at trying to get this one to be played again. Kahibah agreed, and I'm pretty, you know, on behalf of Cooks Hill, I'd like to say that they'd agree. I'm not sure, but I certainly felt like it wasn't really a win. You know, there was no team song, there was none of that. You know, the scoreboard says Cooks Hill 2-1, but it didn't feel like a win at all. It was very sad, really. It was a sad way to end the game, but Matty seems to be good, better than originally thought, which is great news. Under 23s started probably 5 minutes late as a result. Kahibah FC free, drawing Cooks Hill United free. Crazy games in the 23s as of late. It's been much more entertaining than last year. This game though, Cooks Hill were very, very poor. First goal of the game, it's debatable. The referees gave Peter Miliore, something like that. Don't pronounce the G. He got credited for the goal, but Alex Evans, I have given credit for the goal because he crossed it, or he had the shot, and I think it was already over the line. Alex reckons he scored. Peter reckoned similar. So, you know, it's there or thereabouts. It's 1-0. Alex Evans, the goal scorer, in my opinion. No doubt on the next goal scorer, Cooks Hill's Giles Boyd, producing the goods again off a corner, 1-1. Very, very good header of the ball, Giles. At the other end, he was helping out, just defending very well, stopping the Kahibah chances. Miliore having a chance that came off the crossbar. Apologise, it's like midnight on a Sunday night. Kahibah indeed the better side in the second half. Jez Turner, the captain, taking a penalty. 2-1 the score there, handball I believe it was. I'm not sure, maybe I'm wrong. No, I'm wrong. Yeah, it wasn't a handball. Oh, who knows? I was like 50 metres away. Giles Boyd coming close to scoring off a free kick. Simon Ferry making the save there. Milan Latau came onto the field and scored with a very decent finish, equalising. Jez Turner again punishing poor Cooks Hill defending. They deserve to lose Cooks Hill by 2 or 3 goals, make no doubt about that. And they got away with a draw. Milan Latau crossing it in, and Kahibah debut for Kahibah today. Brendan Hayes from Edgeworth 22's team played a quality game but had a horror ending to it, heading the ball into his own net. It was a very dangerous cross, so 3-3 at the end of the game. Cooks Hill remain in second place. First grade Kahibah FC 6 defeating Cooks Hill United 1. First half fairly even. Cooks Hill probably sloppy early on, but they fought their way into it. Asher Beasley did very well again after making his starting debut last week. Jared Penfold giving Kahibah the lead in just the 8th minute. Cooks Hill hit back through Tommy Spare, a very dangerous player who I think he just got the pace on Andre Gumprech. Gumpsy not as fast anymore. Still fast, but not as fast as Tommy Spare, I'll tell you that. One of the fastest players in the competition. Kahibah would strike with a hammer blow right on half-time. Josh Spencer, a very talented youngster there, scoring and making it 2-1. The second half, I don't know, someone locked the door of the change room for Cooks Hill and they didn't come out on the field. It certainly seemed that way. One player who probably did come out on the field was Adam Gunster, the goalkeeper. Jesus, he was busy today, and his defence. You know, it's not that there were players out there who weren't trying. I'm going to say that for Cooks Hill, but there were some that were trying. Captain Jack Wilson, one of them, but even he had a shocker today, Jack. It was just all over the shop for Cooks Hill. Should have been beaten. I'm talking double digits here. 6-1 is probably being kind. Ski Webster scoring, Sean Clerk, Brendan Trummell on his return to the squad, and Jared Penfold late on. You know, I put the Cooks Hill video up earlier and apologise to the Cooks Hill committee once again for that was all crap earlier. Rumours. Don't believe rumours. The side will be going for NPL 2 next year. The committee is keen for that. But like all good clubs, there is some housework that needs to go on behind the scenes. And I tell you what, there's some housework that needs to go on in this first grade team. That was appalling today. And you know, I deleted the video from earlier. In case you didn't see that, I gave it to this first grade team because that wasn't good enough. And I don't know what it is with these guys. They're just not trying hard enough, you know. There's guys in that team, a couple that should have been subbed off today and they weren't. I don't know what sort of coaching call that is. I'm not in a position to I am in a position to question that. That's why I am doing it, but I'm not the coach, so I don't decide who goes and who stays. And it wasn't good though. And Cooks Hill, they got Bell Swans next week, Wallsend the next. They're just going to keep getting smashed. Let's be serious about that. If they play like they did today against Bell Swans, it's going to be 6-1 again. Wallsend also won 6-1 today. Those teams can do that to you. You got to show up, and they didn't today. First half they did, I'll give them that, but the second half was atrocious. Similar to the first game they played against Kahibah, really. Let's go around the grounds. We're making good time tonight. Belmont Swansea United 3 defeating Lake Macquarie City 2 in first grade. They have done it again. Bell Swans beating Lakes twice. Lakes have only lost 2 games all season, both of them to Bell Swans. Lake Macquarie is green and yellow. Maybe. Certainly not yellow and blue today. Luke Cook, Josh Sutton and Fletcher Price are goal scorers. Fletcher Price from the penalty spot. Blake Green from the spot and Sam Walker for Lakes. Fletcher Price sealing the win, making it 3-1, but Sam Walker would make it 3-2 very late in the game. A big win. You know, Bell Swans last week, they had some players out, but they fell away against Wallsend, and you know, I can think of 1 or 2 opposition first grade coaches this weekend that I've spoken to who said Bell Swans will fall away. They didn't fall away today, did they? Beating Lakes, beating the top team in the competition, and Bell Swans suddenly, it's very tight at the top. I don't think this top 4 will change, to be honest. Fortin and West Wallsend in a very good position to challenge, but it's looking good for the top 4. And it'll be a hell of a final series if it is this top 4 that make it. Wallsend FC 6 defeating Toronto Awaba 1. Dave Hodgson getting a hat-trick. Trent Milton, Tim Davies and Paul Wheeler. Tim Salter, the lone goal scorer for Toronto. What can I say to Toronto? Well, I wasn't there. I can't say they played like crap, but 6-1 pretty much indicates they played like crap. But that happened last week, or was it 6-0 last week? I don't really remember. But last week they were 1-1, and then they went on to lose 6-1 with 10 men on the field. They didn't have a send-off, so there's that excuse isn't there. You're not going to be happy losing 6-1, I can tell you that. I know all about that from the Cooks Hill point of view today. Wallsend scoring their most goals of the season. They're not a team that normally scores 6 goals. They don't do that very often. Toronto, that's 26 goals? 26 goals conceded in 5 games. They're in shocking form, I'll tell you. A low light of the game, though, Wallsend substitute Gotcha Abshalava. You know, I'm a big fan of Abshalava. I think he can be a talented player, but he has a brain phage, and there was another one today, allegedly punching a Toronto, well, not allegedly, actually punching a Toronto player in the face. Got sent off. I believe Wallsend have sent Toronto a formal apology, and Gotcha may be in some serious trouble for that. And look, personally, off the field, Gotcha, I like him, but he can't do that. That's wrong. That's completely wrong. Ugly scenes at Wallsend, I've heard. You know, not a good look for the club, and not a look that club will be, you know, they're not going to sit back. They're going to do something about that. It'll be interesting to see if he is there for the next game next week. Well, he won't be, he's suspended, but we'll see what happens with Gotcha there. South Cardiff 0, defeated by West Wallsend 1. The Gunners going down in another tight contest. Hard fought. And you know, you'll get that from South Cardiff. You'll get a hard fought game, and I think that's a lot more than you can ask of a couple of other teams below them. You know, Southie, they're a club that like the grind, I guess, and It was their old boys' day today, so they really put in a decent effort in front of the faithful. But they went down. Ryan Cole scoring the goal. Wessie blowing a couple chances. But a fairly even game, I've heard, and that was from a West Wallsend player. So I think that's a fair enough review of it. Westie jumped Fort and Cooksil back into 5th place. Go down to the under-23s where Belmont Swansea United 1 were defeated by Lake Macquarie City 3. Kane Rogers 2 goals, Jordan Harper 1, Mason Bohatko scoring in literally the last minute to take away the clean sheet from Lakes. Doesn't really matter, it's still a loss. Lakes go top of the league, Bell Swans stay up there, but they're inconsistent. Not inconsistent. I don't call 2 losses in a row inconsistent. That's just poor form. They'll need to dig themselves out against Cooksil next week. A crucial game, I'll tell you that. Cooksil also, their form in the 23s, where's it gone? It hasn't been there for weeks. They left it at Macquarie Field, I think. Wallsend FC 2 were defeated by Toronto Awaba 3. I am so sorry to Chris Wallace, Ben Nichols and the Wallsend 23s. They told me to tip them to lose because every time I tip them to lose, they win. I tipped them to win and they lost. What can I say? Losing to Toronto in the 23s. Toronto haven't won a game all year, so... Oh, man. I'm trying to think of what might have been said in the Wallsend sheds after the game. They wouldn't have been happy with that. I tell you what, Toronto probably deserved this win. Teague Marcus getting 2 goals for Wallsend, but Tim Stone and Liam Watson getting 2 goals and winning the game with the final kick of the game pretty much, the dying second. And Toronto, a huge win for Toronto. It doesn't matter that, they're dead last, they're still 6 points behind the next team, but they finally get a win, and that just releases a whole bunch of emotion, No doubt they'll be delighted with that, and why not? Next week they got Lake Macquarie, bottom v top. There'll be wild scenes if they win that one. South Cardiff 3 defeating West Wallsend 2. Goal scorer is unknown for South Cardiff as of this video. Cameron Aspinall and Grant Morrow the scorers for Westie. Andrew Carney missing a penalty. I don't know if it was late or whatever. It may have been for free. Southie get a big win in the 23s. Go to the under-19s now where Belmont Swansea United 2 were defeated by Lake Macquarie City 4. Not free, this says free. There it is. If you can see that's wrong. What can I say? I should just get a shirt made with what can I say. It's my new saying, I think. James Ward fired Lakes into the lead. Joel Nicholson cut it back to 1. James Ward, this was after making it 2-0. James Ward getting 2. Joel Nicholson 1. Darko Nikic right on half-time to make it 3-1, which took the wind out of the sails for Bell Swans, you could say. Aidan Hampton scoring a goal for the Bell Swans and then forced off on a stretcher with injury, which hopefully Aidan is okay. Handy player to have in the team. The game was sealed, Jack Russo scoring a goal. Lakes, they just get the job done in the 19s at the moment. That's what they've been doing, and that's what they'll probably continue to do. They've got Toronto next week, which going into the next result I read out, it's a good one for Toronto, but it's going to be a very tough game for them next week. If the shock in the 23s wasn't enough, Wallsend FC 1 defeated by Toronto Awaba 2 in the under-19s. Gordon Ballon getting a double to cancel out Cal Stokes' goal. And yeah, Toronto just their second win of the season, winning in the 19s, winning in 23s. A quality day for Toronto. Yes, the 17s lost in first grade, were flogged again, but 19s and 23s especially, they'll be delighted with that. And it's good to see too, because they work their asses off, and you don't really want to see teams go 8 or 9 weeks without winning a game. Wallsend will be disappointed with this though. Their coach was sent off, which I'm not sure if it was coach or assistant. I just know that a coach was sent. Craig Hagan is their coach, and he's not someone who I'd normally expect to get sent off, but it happens, I guess. I'm hoping, hopefully it wasn't too ugly or anything, just, you know, maybe mouthed off to the referee a bit too much, I don't know. But yes, the Wallsend coach was sent off. Under 17s results, Belmont Swansea, we'll leave that till last actually. Wallsend FC 3 defeating Toronto Awaba 2. Toronto going down in a close game again. It's just becoming a regular thing, dropping points. You know, they try and they just can't. You know, it just, luck's not on their side at the moment, and that's football, isn't it? Jacob Ray 2 goals, Juma Sadie 1. Toronto scoring through Caleb Trimboli and Nick Woodman. Nick Woodman scoring with 8 minutes to go, put the pressure on Wallsend. Apparently this was fairly physical. Toronto have told me that Wallsend were a bit dirty. That's what Toronto said, you know. I can't base that too much, but I tell you what, Wallsend have got some big guys in the back line in this grade, and they don't take crap, I'll say that much. And you know, I don't know, maybe they gave away a foul or two, or maybe they got away with not giving away a foul or two. So yeah, Toronto going down, Wallsend just they can't stop winning in this grade. Even when they play badly, they win. Who do they have next week? I'm trying to think who they've got. They've got the bye next week, so chance to sort of work on their craft and come back even better than that in a tough game against Cooks Hill in 2 weeks' time. Not last but not least, South Cardiff 0 defeated by West Wallsend 2. Both sides finishing with 10 men. Lachlan Coombs sent off for a second yellow card. You know, I don't normally see him as a player who gets yellow carded very much. He's a handy player and he's a fair player, but maybe didn't go very well today with the tackles. Kyle Bauer sent off for South Cardiff for allegedly headbutting a player, which that's a little bit harsh, isn't it? Yeah, that's not good. That might be a couple of weeks added on top of the suspension. I say allegedly, that's what I got told, but it was from a South Cardiff source, so I guess it's probably true. West Wallsend are now within a point. Actually, I'm not going to say that because their goal scorers were Jaden Lee and Josh Knight. Let's move on. The biggest result of the round, in my opinion, in any grade, I think. Belmont Swansea 1 defeating Lake Macquarie City 0 in the under-17s. Lakes, you know, unbeaten and at times unmatchable this season in the 17s. Southie probably could have beat them last week, and now they have been beaten. Belmont Swansea scoring through Charlie Hervis and holding on for a gutsy win. You know, the word I got from Lakes is they parked the bus, which is funny because Lakes sort of parked the bus in the game I watched them play against Cooks Hill. You know, a lot of substitutions, trying to wind down the clock. That's what happens, you know. And in my opinion, I don't get into that parking the bus garbage, you know. I think Belswan scored off a set piece, which that can be lucky, but if you concede a goal, then you know you got to do what you can do. You know, if the other team parked the bus, then you just got to try and break that bus. West Wallsend moved to within 1 point of Lakes at the top of the 17-inch table, and Wallsend not far behind either. Cooks Hill entering the 4. There's some good teams here, and I'm looking forward to the finals already. In most of the grades, really, in all the grades. Let's be serious. It's been a quality year. Really competitive in all the grades, in the top 4 especially. We go on to the NPL today. Edgeworth FC versus Charlestown City. In the 19s, Charlestown were 3-1 winners, and they were also winners 2-1 in the under-22s. And I don't normally mention too much about the lower grades in NPL, but I'll give credit to Charlestown here. they're doing well in 19s and 22s to beat Edgeworth. I'll give them that. Like that's something. And the depth at Charlestown seems to be improving. The club seem to be taking a bit of a step forward. Although they didn't take a step forward today in first grade, they were down 6-1. There's that score again. Edgeworth coming away with a win. Edgeworth they're too good. They're probably the best team in the NPL competition. Western Workers versus Maitland FC, the derby. Tim Pratt playing for Maitland, I believe. I don't know. I haven't seen the team sheets or any reports, but I think he did join up with them. It's goalkeeper merry-go-round out that way. Western were 4-0 winners in the under-19s and 2-1 in the 22s. And in first grade, Maitland FC 3-0 at Rockwell Automation Park. That's just crap from Western. I've heard from a neutral that was there at the game that Western just didn't offer anything. They're not going very well this year. You know, they lost some experienced players, and it's showing at the moment, sort of in a rebuilding year, I guess. Broadmeadow Maitland, I should say, Maitland, doing very well, and well, they've got the roster to do that, and hopefully that may continue because, you know, it'd be good to see Maitland make the finals, and you know, prove that it can be done, that you can enter the competition and a couple of years later make the finals. You know, yes, they've probably got a bit of financial backing, but that's what all good clubs do. They go and get financial backing, and with experience like Matt Thompson, Dean Heffernan, Crowell, I believe, is there. You know, that's handy players to have, isn't it? Broadmeadow Magic versus Valentine FC. Magic 5-2 in the under-19s. Valentine 2-1 in the under-22s. That's a decent result there. And how about this? Draw 3-3 in first grade, Magic and Valentine. That's massive for Valentine. You know, they can take a lot out of that. You know, there's no relegation this year. You know, this year for Valentine's all about, you know, hey, we can prove that we can match it with these teams, and they matched it with Magic today. I believe Peter Haynes missed a penalty again. He's getting used to that. Haynesy, I still can't get over that FFA Cup penalty miss. I probably never will. In the under-17s NPL today, Football Mid-North Coast 0 were defeated by Valentine Phoenix 1. Hamilton Olympic 2 over Edgeworth 1. Emerging Jets under-15s 2 over Maitland FC 1. And Broadmeadow Magic with the bye. So that's that. My goal when I sat down, I said to myself, I want to do this video in under 45 minutes. Yes, there's a 2-minute intro at the start of the video. My recording says 43 minutes, so I've done my job. We've got everything done. This next weekend I'll be no, I won't be at Cooks Hill. I will be, on Saturday I will be at somewhere. It's somewhere good, obviously, because I can't even remember where it is. Where am I next week? It's not West Wallsend. It is somewhere different. What am I doing? Like, why can I not remember where I'm going next Saturday? You'd think I could remember that. I'm going to have to look. I literally have to look where I'm going next Saturday because I have no idea. It's Toronto. How can I forget Toronto? I guess it's possible. Toronto v Lakes, the Five Islands derby, the main game next week on Newysports. Next Sunday I'll be out at Bell Swans for the Cooks Hill games, 17s and 19s, and thinking of going over to South Carter for first grade because I don't really want to watch Cooks Hill's first grade team play at the moment. That's out of bit of protest, I guess. And personally I want to go over to Yelinga Oval and at least watch a couple games there and get to know Southie a bit better. Tuesday night, looking at maybe doing a zone league game, Cooks Hill and Barnsley in at the athletics field. And apart from that, I will see you same time next week. Newysports TV episode 20, the big 2-0. I'm Ty Sebman. This has been Newysports TV episode 19, round 12 of the New FM First Division. See you next week for round 13. Thank you.